Hi everyone, my name is Michelle. I am the Indigenous recruiter for the Engineering Access Program, and I'm here today to tell you all about it. The Engineering Access Program has been around for 40 years, and we are located within the Price Faculty of Engineering at the University of Manitoba. We have helped over 170 Indigenous engineers graduate with their professional engineering degree. So you're probably wondering what kind of programs are available at the University of Manitoba. So we have five different departments essentially that are offered. And within each of these departments, there's also lots of variety and focus areas that you can choose from. So the five main departments are biosystems, civil, computer, electrical, and mechanical engineering. They are classified as a four-year degree program, but no one really finishes it within 4 years, and students usually take between 5 to 7 years in order to graduate from their program. And one of the pictures that you can see is our engineering complex, so E2, and that's because originally there was two separate buildings. Then they built a building to connect the two, and then we have several other buildings on campus for where a lot of our research happens, as well as our lab space for our students to learn in, and a student study space. One of the really amazing things about the faculty and one of our past graduates is they actually started the EcoMotion team that is still competing now in the Shell EcoMotion competition that takes place in various places in the United States. And each year they focus on redesigning their electric concept vehicle. So it's only one person allowed to drive it, and usually it's one of our students, or that is part of the group. So you're probably wondering, how do you get into the Price Faculty of Engineering? You can go directly in from high school. You do need to have an 80% average from grade 12 over your pre-calculus math, your chemistry, your physics, and your 40S English mark. And you cannot have anything less than a 70% in any of these classes. And the deadline to apply is March 1st. But new this year, actually, is if you do have really high grades, especially in the first term of your high school in your grade 12 year, if you apply by December 1st, then there is a $5,000 scholarship that you can actually apply for. But if maybe you didn't have chemistry or physics or pre-calculus math available within your high school, and if you are a First Nation, Métis, or Inuit, you can actually apply to become an engineering student through us at ENGAP, and our application is separate and is due May 1st. So at ENGAP, we have several supports for our students available in order to help you succeed. Not only do we have academic supports, as I had mentioned, if you maybe had the availability of taking pre-calculus math, we do upgrade our students in their first year, as in the first semester, along with physics, and we put you in an upgrading chemistry course that's taught at the university, as well as one of your first year engineering classes at all the rest of your first year engineering student body does take within the first few years that they are there. We also have personal support, so we have a counselor on staff to help you navigate how to apply for funding, apply for jobs. They help you with your resume and cover letter and interview skills, as well as if let's say you're just having a bad day, you can go in and get support that way. We'll also refer you to additional supports that are accessible for all of the students at the University of Manitoba. Part of our social supports is we have a student group called the Engineering Access Student Association. They are the ones who are essentially like our student council. They put on several different events throughout the school year for our students to partake in. I know upcoming, we're having a chess tournament in our student lounge one afternoon, because we see that a lot of students are very interested in playing chess and wanting to compete against each other. They also do other events, such as there was a bowling night, they do crib tournaments, or even like a video game night. And they always either have it within our student lounge, which our students have 24-hour access to, and it's secured. It's also a great place for our students to study too. We have 2 additional study spaces that only our students can go in and use. as well as a computer lab where students, if they don't have their own personal computer, they can go and use the computers in there and printing. As well as we have a financial aspect, we have lots of corporate donors, which you'll see on this slide, and they give ENGAP a lot of money in order to not only a little bit of it to run the program, but mostly for the money to give back to our students. So every year, the University of Manitoba has a general bursary that everyone is able to apply for in order to see whether you qualify for any scholarships or bursaries. So all of our students do apply for that. In addition, they filled out an additional form just to get to the pool of money that our corporate donors give to us to give back to our students. And that's in form of scholarships, which is like academic focused, and then bursaries are based on financial need. So part of our application process is you do need to fill out our application, submit by May 1st. Then we call you in for an interview in usually early to mid-May, maybe late May. And we typically do accept our students once we have an interview with them. We usually just do that in order to get to know our students, maybe know what kind of needs that they may have, and especially if they're relocating to Winnipeg, if you need any help finding housing and other supports before you come. Then we do have a 2-week orientation at the end of August. It's usually the last 2 weeks. And this is just to ensure that you are put into the pre-calculus math, or if you're ready to go into your first year calculus class, how your chemistry skills and your physics skills are, and whether or not you do need to go through those upgrading courses. It's essentially like a preschool before you start your official like university classes. I always take the students on a campus tour for about an hour and a half, and I show you all the really amazing places on campus, some of the buildings that you may have your classes in, as well as really good places to eat. And of course, where to pay your parking ticket if you ever do get one. And part of this orientation is you to get paired with a fellow ENGAP student where you build a spaghetti bridge. And then we break in from your friends and family on the very last day of the 2-week orientation. So again, if you aren't able to take pre-calculus math, chemistry, or physics in high school, make sure you still apply to us, especially if it's engineering, something you're really passionate about and want to like better the way society is, not only through like there's a lot of different ways you can do that, through how roads are made, how computers and technology is used, and like even creating possibly like the next technology that makes society better. Our application is due May 1st, and I do have to stress this about if you are planning for band funding, go to your education authority, check to see when the deadline is to apply, because if it's before May 1st and they require an acceptance letter, send your application in at least 2 weeks in advance of your band funding deadline, so then we can review your application and send you that conditional acceptance letter in order for you to apply for that. And then we'll bring you in for the interview in May in order to give you your official acceptance. This is a picture of our student lounge. We have this space on the 4th floor of the Price Faculty of Engineering building. It's in EITC. It's in E2, so that's the newer part. Our lounge overlooks the atrium, so we actually do get lots of really good sunlight, which is great for when you're studying. And we have a tutor room available in there, and our students have lockers as well as like mail slots, so they don't have to lug around like their heavy bags and their books and such during the winter. The majority of the buildings on campus are connected through tunnels. There are a few that are not, but if you don't need to carry on your winter jacket, then may as well put it in the lounge. So this is a picture of our recent graduates. We have 176 graduates from the program. If you ever come into the engineering atrium and you see the Tim Hortons, our graduate canoe is actually right across the atrium from the Tim Hortons. So you'll be able to go and see maybe some names that you may recognize of our past graduates. And this year, like I mentioned earlier, is our 40th anniversary in 2025 because our program started in 1985. If you have any questions, my name is Michelle Carrier. My email is right here, and also my phone number if you have any questions at all about applying for ENGAP and any logistics wise. You can also contact Tanis Geddes. She is our admin rep, but really the program coordinator. And she is the person at the front desk. So you can call her at 204-474-9872. She's the one who always answers the phone. You can also email her at tanis.geddes@umanitoba.ca. I do want to show you on our webpage. This is how it looks. In order to get to our application form, you're going to even go down further. One thing I forgot to mention is that we do provide a lot of tutoring for our students. If you do need any help in any of your classes, and don't be afraid to ask for help, because university is a lot different from high school. And I highly recommend you go see a tutor as soon as you start feeling like, oh, I don't really get what they're saying in class, or how do you actually do this problem like on my own. Tutors will help you through that process. So our application form is available right here. You can download the PDF. It is a fillable PDF, but please make sure you don't put too much text in it because then we'll have to like scroll. And you do attach it as a PDF in the email, because if you print that out, a lot of the text that you may have put too much in a box, it won't actually show for us. I also want to show you the University of Manitoba Engineering Society. This is the Engineering Student Council, and they put on lots of events on campus. You'll see them in the atrium all the time. They do lots of really amazing things. They do have governance, so that has to do with the student team, with the elected positions. And then under student groups, you can see here that right here they have a calendar. Nothing's happening in September because nothing has started, or the students are starting to like recruit for their competitions. And these are the different competitions that you can go in and like apply for in order to help with the design team and like various different aspects. And some of the design teams, some of the students, not all of them, get to go to the competition. I know for the wind energy design, they get to go out to Europe or in like the Netherlands for that competition every year. UMSAE is very vehicle based. So they have like it says, the Aero team, the Baja, Formula Electric, and Formula One teams. You'll be able to see examples of those within the engineering atrium. You have the U of M BMed, which is the biomedical engineering team, and then the U of M SATS team. So the satellite team, this one was actually able to put a satellite into orbit a few years ago, which was a huge accomplishment because that doesn't happen very often. Then we have the Great North American Concrete Toboggan Race team. So obviously their competition happens a lot sooner, and it usually happens, I think, in Banff in January, or I guess in Kelowna in 2023. And it is what it really is what it says it is. You make a concrete toboggan for you to race down a hill. And then there's a concrete canoe team. You'll see a few of those old versions outside of our Stanley Poly Engineering building if you walk behind it. So you can see there's lots of different competition teams on here. So again, my name is Michelle. If you have any questions, please let us know. And I hope that you have a really great day. Thank you.